That looks so much better than it did last night. Good morning, everybody. We've got a change of foliage here with us. Welcome back to the Morning Bible. Don't worry, the kumquat tree hasn't completely disappeared. I've just moved it into the conservatory so it can grow a little better. So for now, we've got the other one here with us. We are in Luke once again, Luke chapter 13. We talked yesterday about prayer. Jesus teaches the disciples how to pray, or at least gives them a good model for how to pray, with sort of a condensed version of the Lord's Prayer, which we get in Luke, which is really good. And then today we've got another demon to look at, so let's go straight into it. From verse 14, it says, "Now he was casting out a demon that was mute. When the demon had gone out, the mute man spoke, and the people marvelled. But some of them said, 'He casts out demons by Beelzebub, the prince of demons,' while others, to test him, kept seeking from him a sign from heaven." So, there is a demon in a man that's causing the man to be mute. That means the man can't speak. Jesus comes up to the demon and casts it out. We assume in the normal fashion where he just sort of rebukes the demon, tells it off, and the demon comes out with the sound of his voice. And the mute man speaks, which is clear evidence that, Jesus has cast out this demon. Jesus has done good work in this man's life. And all the people around marvelled. But not all of them. Sorry. The people marvelled, but not all of the people. Some of the people said that Jesus cast out the demon by Beelzebub. So who's Beelzebub? Well, they tell us here, he's the prince of demons. So Beelzebub is sort of this big demon figurehead, part of sort of Satan's crew, I guess. Crew is probably a bit too soft of a word to use, but part of Satan's sort of crowd. And they're saying that Jesus is casting out these demons by Beelzebub. So Beelzebub, this evil spirit, is giving Jesus power, and Jesus is using that evil power to cast out this demon. And then other people in the crowd are saying, "Oh, that was cool, but I still just don't quite believe that he's the Son of God. I think I need a bit more evidence. I think I need him to do another miracle. So I'm going to ask him to do this for me or do this for me, so he can just prove that he is the Son of God." But Jesus, knowing their thoughts, said to them, "Every kingdom divided against itself is laid waste, and a divided household falls. And if Satan is also divided against himself, how will his kingdom stand? For you say that I cast out demons by Beelzebub. And if I cast out demons by Beelzebub, by whom do your sons cast them out? Therefore they will be your judges. But if it is by the finger of God that I cast out demons, then the kingdom of God has come upon you. When a strong man, fully armed, guards his own palace, his goods are safe. But when one stronger than he attacks him and overcomes him, he takes away his armour in which he trusted and divides the spoils. Whoever is not with me is against me, and whoever does not gather with me scatters." So, there was quite a lot there that Jesus answers to these people. But he sort of gives his answer to them in three parts. The first two parts are linked, and the third part is kind of separate, which he uses an analogy for. But let's look at the first two parts. So Jesus says, "Every kingdom divided against itself is laid to waste, and a divided household falls. And if Satan also is divided against himself, how will his kingdom stand? For you say that I cast out demons by Beelzebub, and if I cast out demons by Beelzebub, by whom do your sons cast them out?" So those are the first 2 points. So firstly, Jesus is saying every kingdom that is divided against itself will fall, right? So he's using an analogy here of a kingdom or a city or, a group of people. And if they're fighting in amongst each other, then of course they're just going to collapse. We see it with civil wars throughout all of history and to this day. And so that's Jesus' main argument. He's saying, look, if I'm doing this by Beelzebub's power, by Satan's power, whomever, then surely that's just evil fighting against evil, and it's just destroying itself. Why would Satan want me to cast out demons when the demons are doing evil? Why would Satan want me to defeat himself? You don't command an army to go into battle and then ask the army to start attacking itself. So Jesus is saying it's nonsense that you think that a demon is giving me authority to defeat another demon. So that's his first point. His second point, he says, "And if I cast out demons by Beelzebub, by whom do your sons cast them out?" So there's a bit of questioning about whom Jesus is referring to when he says the sons, because we don't know who these people are who are actually questioning him. It just says some of the people. So what we assume is that these people are either Pharisees or Jewish people, and so the sons of these people will be some of the people who are maybe following Jesus, or some of the people who are just righteous and following God's law and loving God and obeying God. And so whichever one of these groups it is, they're casting out demons in God's name. And the people would have accepted that. They would have acknowledged that these people are casting out demons in God's name because they know these people and they're good people. They're their sons. Maybe not literally sons, but they're at least, friends or family friends or something like that. There are people who these people know who are casting out demons in God's name. And Jesus is saying, well, if you're saying that I'm casting out demons in a demon's name, then surely you're saying that all of your own sons, all of your own sort of family, your own friends are casting them out in a demon's name as well. And do you believe that? And the answer most likely these people would give was, well, of course not. And so Jesus is saying, well, we're casting them out in God's name then. But then Jesus goes on to give us some more. He gives us a further analogy, saying, when a strong man, fully armed, guards his own palace, his goods are safe. And so this strong man is Satan. When a strong man, fully armed, guards his own palace, his goods are safe. So Satan is guarding his own palace. But then the analogy goes on. But when one stronger than him attacks him and overcomes him, he takes away his armour in which he trusted and divides the spoils. So Jesus is saying, look, I am the stronger man. I have come. Satan had his kingdom, he had his palace, he had his army, he had it protected. But I'm stronger, and I've come and I've taken his armour away. I've taken away the thing that makes Satan powerful, that makes him secure in himself. I've destroyed that, and now he has no power over this stuff. And so Jesus is dividing the spoils being, the people who Satan had under his control, the people who are possessed by demons, or the people who are stuck in bad habits, bad patterns of life, stuck in evil situations, stuck in bad circumstances, whatever it may be. Jesus has come and he has freed those people. Those people are the spoils, and he's divided them out into his kingdom. He's sent them into new places. He's rescued them. And Jesus finishes with one last little analogy. He says, whoever is not with me is against me, and whoever does not gather with me scatters. So gather with me is sort of gathering grain in the land. We talked before about the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. This sort of continues that analogy on. Jesus is saying he is gathering. He is out in the fields gathering the grain. And that whoever is not gathering with Jesus, whoever's not in that field working with him, scatters at the sight of him. They run away. And so Jesus says, before he said, if they are not against me, then they are for me. You remember that when, what was the context in which they were doing that? There were other people who were healing and casting out demons in God's name, in Jesus' name. And Jesus said, whoever's not against me is for me. So he condoned those people doing that. And here he says, whoever is not with me is against me. He says the opposite. And so Jesus is very clear. There are two sides to this. He's explicitly stating there isn't an agnostic fence to sit on when it comes to Jesus. You can't sort of sit back and go, oh, maybe Jesus was the Son of God, maybe not. I'm going to sort of maybe slightly commit to him. Jesus is very clear with us in the Bible. He says, whoever is not with me is against me, and whoever does not gather with me scatters. He's saying, look, you need to commit. If you're going to believe in me, you need to properly believe in me. You can't sit on the fence. You can't stand back and not engage. You've got to take a side in this. There are only two sides. You're either with me or you're against me. There's no agnostic fence to sit on here, which is a big challenge. And so we're going to keep going and just look at one last little bit. And this is from verse 24. My Bible divides this into a separate little passage. It says, Jesus is continuing speaking here. He says, when the unclean spirit has gone out of a person, it passes through waterless places seeking rest. And finding none, it says, I will return to my house from which I came. And when it comes, it finds the house swept and put in order. Then it goes and brings 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they enter and dwell there. And the last state of that person is worse than the first. So this is actually a warning. This is sort of quite a sobering warning. Before this, Jesus is saying, look, I'm doing this in God's power, I'm doing this in God's name. He's sort of showing his authority. It's a really good passage. And here, this is a very real warning about what can come. So he gives an analogy of this unclean spirit, this demon, right? So Jesus comes along, he casts out the demon leaves. And he says, it passes through waterless places seeking rest. So it goes out into the wilderness, it goes out where there's nothing to feed it, nothing to support it. And finding none, it says, I will return to my house from which I came. So the demon that Jesus casts out, the thing that Jesus removes from someone's life, it's gone for a period, but that evil wants to come back. It says, I will return to my house from which I came. And when it comes, it finds the house swept and put in order. So the demon comes back to the person's life, and the person's life is better, and they're in a better place, they're secure. Jesus has come and worked wonders in their life. And then the demon goes and brings 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they enter and dwell there. And the last state of that person is worse than the first. So the demon, Jesus is essentially warning people. He's saying, look, you may be rid of this evil for now, but evil has a way of coming back and pushing. And when it comes back, it can often come back stronger. And so let's say you're dealing with an addiction. If you kick that addiction, there are going to be times where that addiction comes back and hits at you and starts pulling at you stronger than before. But that isn't Jesus saying it's hopeless. It isn't saying, there's no point getting rid of it in the first place. This is Jesus saying, look, be aware of what's to come, because the house is clean and you can clean the house. And this isn't saying that that demon will definitely come back and it will definitely bring 7 friends, right? He's not saying that for sure, but he's saying that, it's hard to escape the evils sometimes, and we need to be ready and we need to be prepared. Going back to what Jesus was talking about before, he talks about the stronger man overcoming, taking away Satan's armor and dividing the spoils. And so this analogy is continuing. He's saying, look, just because Satan's been cast out, you've divided the spoils, doesn't mean that he's not going to come back and try again. But you just have to rest in the security of knowing that Jesus is greater than that. Jesus is still the stronger man. Jesus is still capable of overpowering Satan. And so even when the difficulties come back, the temptations come back, wherever it may be, Jesus is still stronger than all of it and rises above all of it. So that's where we're going to end it today. I want to finish my cup of coffee before it gets too cold. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you all tomorrow. Much love. Bye.